All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Town Hall meeting. This is episode number 5. I'm going to be joined by 4 great guests. Today we got Hawk, pro player from Russia, one of the best in Europe, human player, one of the best in the world as well. Wanderbraun from Ukraine, but cast in Russian. Daily on Twitch. KnOff, the triple B, the bald bodybuilder, Blade Master, as Fury always calls him. And then we got Starshaped, a notorious night elf abuser from Sweden. How are you guys doing?
Oh boy.
All right, let's start with our first topic. It used to be the Reforged launch, but I think we've kind of covered that in the first 4 episodes with a lot of the guests. So if you guys want to talk about the Reforged launch, you can. But I think we all kind of are going to say the same thing about that. So instead, I've transformed this topic into Reforged. What would you like to see improved? So KnOff, why don't you go first?
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm not so sure it's like something that is really new. I think most of the guys around have been talking about they missing a ladder, like a ladder system with matchmaking, and I mean they did add the MMR, which made it a little bit better. But I was playing today for like 10 games in the ladder, and I still think it's not that big of a difference really. So I would say the matchmaking still needs to be improved, and also like the profiles and stuff. That's the 2 main things I would say that has to be improved. Besides that, I haven't really been playing a lot of games in the Reforged graphics at the moment because it has been pretty buggy, and I still feel it's hard to see which units, which is which unit. Like in a bigger fight, I have a really hard time to micro my units. So probably something more with the graphics, I would say. It's hard to say exactly, but I still feel there is something about maybe the shadows or the colors, probably mostly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say that's the things that comes to my mind right now after playing lately.
What about you, Starshaped?
I agree with KnOff. I think we really need a ladder, which I'm still incredibly surprised by the fact that we didn't have that when the game launched. Like, I think that's so strange. And when they said that, well, they're going to patch it, and I thought maybe that'd take a week. But I mean, it's gone such a long time now, and they haven't done anything. They've added like some ears to the Naga or something. So they really haven't focused on the most important aspect, which is getting a ladder and profiles. Because Battle.net 2.0, the Reforged Battle.net, is so much worse than the original Battle.net. It just feels so barren. You can't really interact with people. You can't really check your profile. There's nothing. So if there's no ladder and no profile, and the campaign's been very buggy as well, from what I've heard, like the missions haven't been working properly. It's been too easy, and stuff has been missing or been wrong. So like no matter what you want out of Warcraft, you're not getting it. If you're a casual player, if you're a competitive player, there's just nothing for anyone right now, which is a big shame, I think. For me personally, I really want Classic to be kept classic, like 100%. I'm very surprisingly frustrated by the new sounds that they've added. For example, I don't want the new death sounds. I don't want the new attack sounds or anything. I just want exactly the game the way it was. So I would love for them to give us an option to keep classic 100% classic. If I want the new sounds, I'll play on Reforged. Other than that, I just want them to have some more and clear communication. Just let us know what they're doing, what they're thinking, and not just keeping us in the dark like this.
Wanderbraun?
Actually, I'm a caster, so as far as I know, Neo told during the BlizzCon 2018 about the new ops regime for the game with new statistic from StarCraft 2, and there nothing came, actually nothing. It's just the same ops which you have in the old Warcraft 3, and it's very bad because we have to use other apps like Victory Booster, which is actually okay and very good, but I want the same thing or even much better in the game. And the other thing, which is more important for me, actually, is the things between old and new graphics. It is very annoying because it is too much pain when there are people playing and you're casting and everything is fine. And then there's the thing, and they have just to replay it. So it is like, well, it's the two biggest problems for me as a caster, at least. So I want to fix it as soon as possible.
Yeah, like you want UI that's like the StarCraft 2 or similar, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Death Note and Back to Warcraft for the hosts, by the way. Thank you, guys. What about you, Hawk?
So for me, graphic and ladder, and I don't care about it because all pro players playing on NetEase server. So for me, big problem it's ping, because sometimes you just play Russian against Russian or against your pro players. So and you have 200 ping and you need a host game for better ping. So it's very big problem against play in Euro tournaments. So, and I don't know why, but from Moscow I have ping about a lot, about 100. And when I play against from Germany players, they have ping 20 maybe. So it's not fair. So it needs fix. Maybe we need a server in Moscow or something like this.
So that's all you guys can think of, or is there anything else? Like, because like maybe I should have sent you the topics a little bit more specifically, so you would have time to think about it. Like, these are, you think, the number one priorities that all you guys would like to see fixed? Is that?
Well, there are many things which we want. For example, custom campaigns. You can't play custom campaigns right now. For the long time, I thought that it's just a bug, or I don't know, but you can play it. It's like strange.
Yeah.
And there are many things like that.
Okay, and in terms of the launch of Reforged, like, was there one thing in particular that surprised you the most, or?
Who should go first?
You.
All right. Well, I mean, just everything really. Just how, like, I didn't have high hopes. I've never had high hopes for
Why not?
Reforged, just because of Blizzard's track record, and I don't know.
How do you mean? They've released great games.
Sure. In the past, they've released great games, and I mean, they're kind of living on their reputation still, but it's slowly but surely kind of eroding. So I didn't have high hopes, but the fact that the launch was so poor, like it was literally an alpha game they released at full price. But I bought it, and then I refunded it in 5 minutes. Like, I was so disappointed, and
And then you rebought it.
No, I haven't rebought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm playing classic. I'm never gonna buy that game. I'm like the way they treated us and the launch and everything. It's just a disaster. So I refuse to reforge. Hashtag refuse to reforge. That's my motto. So so the whole thing was just a disaster. I like, it feels like a fever dream. Like, did that really happen? Like, could it really be that bad? And it was that bad. It's just amazing. Such a big company. Like, how could they not know? How could they not foresee that this was going to be a complete disaster? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
What about you, KnOff?
Well, I remember when I first started to play Warcraft back in like when I was 19, 20 years old, and I just started high school, and it was such a great feeling, when you got to play. And I still remember my first game that I was playing with a friend, like a ranged team, and it was such a cool thing to play together with someone with a ladder system that was working great. And it was like, I always, from the first games I did, my goal was to try to get, the icons and like, you got the 25 wins and you got your first headhunter icon and all this kind of stuff. And that was one of the things that triggered me to play a lot.
Yeah.
And
And then you were like, wow, this Blade Master guy is pretty good. I'm beating everyone.
yeah, I was actually playing out a lot of different races in the beginning, but then I always enjoyed playing Orc, mostly because of the blade, of course. But I mean, I have always been playing a lot of ladder, and I was probably known for one of the players that was doing most ladder games back in the days, like when the scene was really big. And I remember even Grubby talked about me that people should watch out for KnOff because he is practicing really, really hard. And it was probably by then I also won against Grubby in Cup, and I started my career as a pro gamer. But I mean, the ladder was such a big thing for me, and that was and is what has been motivating me most, I would say, because I think it's a great experience when you go online and you play against someone that is pretty much on your level, and it's very good practice and also a better game experience when you have a ladder that is working so well. Like, also imagine, I almost forgot that, but we had the homepage where you can check the profiles and see the stats and everything.
Yeah.
But now that isn't I don't even remember a long time ago that was working. So but Warcraft Info, of course, they need a big shout out because they did a ladder or like tracking all the records themselves. So that's really amazing. Without that homepage, it would be really hard. But yeah, the ladder for sure. I even forgot the question now. I was talking so much.
No, like, was there anything in particular that surprised you the most when like Reforge was launched? Or?
Yeah, no ladder system that was working properly with the profiles, and I think for a new player.
But I think that was announced though, that there was not going to be a ladder.
Yeah, they told it during the BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you talking about? That was the one thing that they said it was gonna be there. Don't you watch any of the videos?
Not much, no. I think I did watch the live session, but...
Yeah.
But if you didn't watch it, you'd still expect a ladder. Like, if you didn't watch that video, of course, if you buy a competitive game like Warcraft 3, you expect there to be a ladder.
Yeah.
I mean, some people took time off work for the first day just to play ladder, and there's no ladder. Like,
Yeah, I agree with you. There should be a ladder, but that was the one thing that was announced was not going to be there. Yeah. Wanderbraun?
Okay.
Well, they had an experience with ladder. As far as I remember, in StarCraft Remastered, they didn't have a ladder from the beginning. So they thought that everything would be fine because with StarCraft everything was fine or something like that. But disappointing for me is that at least I thought that everything would be better than in beta, because I saw that in beta there was some progress. Because in the beginning I had, for example, 20 FPS and nothing more. It was unplayable, literally, while in the end I had like 100. So there is a big success and many models were changed, etc. But after all, release was like the latest patch of beta. Nothing has literally changed. And that's the biggest problem, because I thought that they took 1 month more in January, actually, to polish everything, to make everything right, working correctly, but they didn't. They actually released beta. And that was the disappointment for me, because I was one of the guys who believed in them till the end and believed in the miracle, but, nothing has happened.
You still believe?
Right now? No one believes them right now. I think so.
Starshaped, are you playing some video game? I see something in the mirror behind you.
Oh, it's my girlfriend's playing.
Yeah,
Sitting
sure.
right behind me.
I think I can see that or what? What about you, Hawk?
I missed question.
Was there one thing that surprised you the most when Reforged came out, or?
I don't believe in Reforged, so maybe it's ladder. Yes, a ladder system.
Yeah.
So, and I hope they can do like in this observer mode, like happy play it on ladder games,
Yeah.
and all can watch this. But I'm not sure it's possible or not because it's only for 5, I think, games in this. So who can streaming this? So and maybe they need more focus on classic mod, not to in new graphic.
Why do you want a Chappie? He plays Undead.
Because he played 4 versus 4
Yeah.
in Battle.net and use only 3 hero.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, of course. All right.
Could I just add one thing?
Yeah, sure.
Because if we compare Warcraft Reforged to StarCraft Remastered, I mean, Remastered had a lot of issues as well, but at least they got to keep everything the way it was.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of focus on the integrity of like the game that you grew up with, the game that you love is going to be exactly the same but improved. And especially their Battle.net, they got to keep their Battle.net and we didn't, which I think is a really big shame. Like I really wish we could just go back to the old, enter Battle.net, enter chat, custom games, all that.
Yeah.
Especially when they didn't even like. I imagined they would transfer Reforged to StarCraft 2 Battle.net like that style, but it's a completely different Battle.net that's so underdeveloped.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they would either just keep it the way it was or put it with like the StarCraft 2 Battle.net, which has a lot of advanced features at this point. And I assume like I haven't played StarCraft 2 in a long time, but from what I've heard, there's a lot of new features that they've added, like statistics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in Reforged. I don't understand why they can't just put it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to DreamHack Anaheim. It took place pretty recently, and we actually have one of the players that was there here in Hawk. So hopefully you got some thoughts to share about the tournament. Hawk, how was your experience in Anaheim?
It's just great because it's not in China because all tournaments in China and some players just okay, oh my god, again China. Now we have in Europe and USA, so it's very nice place and you don't need VPN for your phone for use YouTube or something like this, and it's just great tournament and good stuff. So, but I'm not happy about this tournament because I meet happy in quarterfinal.
Yeah. And like what you played against in your group against Boo, and then you won that, and then you had to play Moon in some pretty epic games. Is there anything you can
but,
share about those games?
Moon sleep in hotel and I waiting him about 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm a little angry, but it's okay. So, and he used Warden. I hate this.
The games were pretty close. Like, do you look back at the games and like you're
Yeah,
able
in
to
first
pinpoint?
game, I think I almost win, but he going to the Perrin abuse, and I think he just I don't know how to say. It's about long game. I don't like play long game like this.
Yeah.
Always run, and I think I have more mistakes
Yeah.
than Moon.
And then yeah, you got pretty unfortunate because you lost that series to Moon. Then you had to play a first place finisher, and out of all the
And I
first
missed
place finishers, you got Happy, which is like the worst draw possible. How do you feel nowadays when you have to play Happy? Because like it kind of feels like maybe your mindset is not the best. Do you think like you're playing your best, or do you think that because against Undead it's very hard and you've lost many times
For
to
me,
Happy?
it's very hard to play against Undead because sometimes I lose to Vortex, to X-Lord,
Yeah.
And against Happy, I use all my strategy like first Mountain King, first Paladin, first Archmage, 1 base, 2 base, 10 base, and I always lose. So I'm not sure. Maybe I need to play better and play more games.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something, Hawk?
Yeah.
Like I've seen you play against Happy a lot, and just like you say, you're trying different stuff. But have you been like trying to, practice against 120 or someone other Undead that is playing pretty much the same style, like custom games, and seeing what you can improve? You know what I mean?
Yes, but no one that's who play like Happy because 1-0 playing different, and
Okay.
it's very easy to beat him in one base. So, but he very nice play against Fast Expo. So if I for winning Happy, I think I need play only versus Happy, maybe custom games or a lot
Yeah.
of tournaments. So, but when I play versus him, he learning too and understand my new style. So, and he play much better.
Yeah, I'm actually cheering for you when you're playing against Happy because I feel like you should really be able to take him down soon. I mean, you had so many great series against each other, so it would be cool to see the day Hawk beats Happy again.
Yeah, thank you.
What about you guys, KnOff? I'm sure you caught a bunch of the games from Anaheim. So, what was your impressions watching the tournament?
Yeah, I was cheering for Hitman a lot actually, and of course Torsign. But yeah, it's always fun to see like a new orc rising because there are very few orcs coming up at the top of the scene. Like the normalist Focus and Lynn and
Yeah.
maybe even Spiral. I think he had a really good run some months ago, but now I think he lost a little bit. But yeah, back to the tournament. I mean, watching Hitman beating Lolaya 2-0 was really awesome. He did two super good games there, and yeah, that was very impressive. Also, like Forsign, I mean, you already talked a lot about the games, I know, but I mean, he playing so good against Moon, and still, yeah, it's such a cool thing to see him, like especially for us in Starshaped, because we know Forsign on such a good level, and I mean, since we are friends in real life, and it's you get another connection with someone that you know, and you see him play against one of the best players in the world, and he's doing such a good game. So yeah, it was really sad and unfortunate, but I mean, he is still motivated, and I think he will come back and practice even harder now to do better in the coming DreamHack tournaments for sure. So it's gonna be cool to see.
Maybe it's the start of a great rivalry, which will continue in the next
I think
DreamHacks.
so. I think so.
Wanderbraun?
Well, there is a big issue with DreamHack Anaheim because there is only English official broadcasting, while I suppose at least the same as big as English audience is also Russian, and there is no official Russian broadcast.
You were not allowed to cast?
No, we were allowed, but I was talking about that. This was allowed in the last hours, I don't know. So we were allowed to cast only the first and the second day, but not final. And then during this last hours of the second day, we were allowed to cast the final. We thought there we couldn't, but somehow, I don't know what happened, they allowed us to do that. And there is a problem actually because there is no official Russian broadcast. It's I would happy to see in the future that will be some of that, because Russian audience is actually quite big. And even during the last WGO winter, Russian Russian viewers were 2 or even 3 times more than English one. So I hope that organizers will do something with that in the future. But at least if they allow us to stream it, it will be okay for sure. But official broadcast would be much cooler.
How do you mean official broadcast? You mean like somebody from Russia that goes on to the event, or cast from home?
Well, if they invite someone there, that will be much cooler because the caster can bring the atmosphere, something like interviews, some content for the viewers. But of course, even if there's some official invite from the home, would be anything would be cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but now you were allowed to cast it, all right?
Yeah,
So...
yeah, as a community caster, but it was allowed just like in the last moment, actually.
Yeah.
So it was very strange, but still I am glad that DreamHack allowed us, but I'm not sure that they will allow us in the future. So I don't know.
I think there's a good chance, yeah. Hopefully. Starshaped, what about you?
Well, like KnOff said, I think it felt more personal for me, or for us, I guess. I practiced a lot with Thorzane when he was preparing for Anaheim, which I guess was fun for me because I don't think that I'm very good practice for him, but we played a lot of games, and it's very cool to see someone as good as him. Like when you're playing custom games, I can feel him getting better every game. I can feel him improve like small things and big things, and I really felt like he had a chance at winning. Like the last games we played were so one-sided. Like he's so good at Warcraft. And same thing when we practiced. I guess we'll get to that later. The LAN we had here in Stockholm. Like I played a lot with Thorzane, and I don't think I won a single game. Like out of all those games. So it was very heartbreaking to see what happened, especially against Moon, because that would be such a cool story to have this guy, like the only guy in the top 8 who isn't like a full-time pro gamer is Thorzane, I think.
I think he mentioned that he practiced Archmage, Alchemist, Blood Mage against you, that he did against Moon and won the last Refuge with.
Yeah, and he crushed me with it. Like it felt so broken to me in the moment. I'm like, what am I supposed to do against this? And I think that's one of the strengths of Thorzane is that he's not afraid of going very late game. He's not afraid of adapting and thinking up counters to things. So that really sucked. Other than that, I didn't really follow the tournament too much. Like since it's USA time, like I've kept up the scores and I watched some of the videos, but I missed a lot of it, I have to say. I think some of the highlights otherwise were Hitman's run, like beating Neutron and Lalide is really cool. And Entei beating Foggy, I think that was really cool as well. Added some drama to the whole thing because then it meant they'd meet once more, and turned out that Foggy won that one, but it was still, I think, really cool to see.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of rare to see upsets in Warcraft in a game like this. So any upset is a highlight for me.
Okay. About Moon, like, do you guys think going into the tournament he was the big favorite with Happy? Do you guys think it's a lot about the bracket and, obviously Focus meeting Happy was like a little bit unfortunate for him? Were you guys surprised that Happy lost to Focus at all? KnOff, you're the resident orc.
Yeah, I know that Focus always had like an upper hand on Happy, I would say, even in Gera Cups and back in the days. I think Focus was one of the orcs that usually won against Happy, and even me, I mean myself, that has been not playing that much, like not compared to Happy or any other pro. I mean, I managed to win one map from Happy. I mean, that doesn't say much, but when I'm playing against him, I still feel that I have a chance compared to like when I play against someone really good human.
Like me?
Example, ToD's. I was gonna say Hulk, but now you said your name, so no. But I mean, it's different. Like as orc against undead, it's still a matchup that I feel that you have more control, and it's like some advantages we have with Blade Master and the triple hero combo. I would say it's a pretty strong strategy against undead, and the way he played it, it was not that close, to be honest. and I know Happy's weakest matchup is against Orc, so I would consider Focus a favorite against him. So it wasn't that surprising for me, I think.
What about you, Wanderbraun? Were you surprised to see Happy go down?
I don't know. I know that Focus was actually maybe the only one player at the tournament who was a good orc and could actually beat Happy, but as a player from the Seas region, I of course had the feelings, or I thought that Happy could beat him because it's our player, so I wanted to win him. I'm happy to win Focus, but so yeah, I believe that he won. He would win him, but because Happy practiced a lot against orcs, he's playing a lot. I see it. We all see it. 8 hours per day, maybe even more sometimes. But Focus just was prepared, and he was prepared too good. So I saw in the game that like everything was as it has to be. So I was surprised, but when I saw actually the game, I understood that everything has to be this way.
Yeah. And what about you, Hawk? Were you surprised by any result, or you think it was pretty straightforward?
No, I'm not surprised because Happy always angry playing about versus Orc. So and Focus in this game in tournament have good items drop. And I remember in first game he have Sobi Mask and Ring of Regeneration. So he cancel Slaughterhouse so many times, and Happy creeping without statue. And I think Happy play very passive style, so just creeping, not to harass expansion. And about Moon, we ask Moon about do you ready to winning this tournament? He say, no, I think top 4 for me it's okay. It's Moon say.
Really?
Because Moon is best player in the Warcraft for all time, I think. So and in this tournament he play very nice, and final is very strong against Focus. So I think Moon in this year maybe winning gold in WGL. So Moon is good.
Did you watch the previous episodes of my show? Because there is a
No.
few guests that say that human's the best race and Night Elf is the weakest race. So how can Moon win tournaments?
It's about matchup, I think.
Yeah.
If we talk about human and elf, human have maybe 55.
Whoa! That's going too far here.
It's not my option.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Wait,
No,
what?
it's because I ask Infi and TH and they say same.
That Night Elf win
But-
55% against human, or what?
No, human wins 55.
No, human have better chance.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But
yeah.
it's
Well, that I
all
agree
play
to.
keeper and demon hunter. Maybe now how all night elf use warden, maybe it's different.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
By the way, Wanderbraun, I just got some info from Vlad. I don't know if you know him. I don't know how to say his name. Vilatko, the Dota caster.
Okay.
And like he's famous Dota caster, and like he came to also some poker event I was at. Very nice guy, but he slow rolls with aces sometimes. He said that there's gonna be some official Russian broadcasts for ESL Pro League and DreamHack starting from Jönköping. And he said that I can tell that if somebody wants to cast, they can contact him if they want to help out and cast. So you can get in touch with him.
With him for at the least what? Who?
Vlad, bro. Do you know Vlad? He's like
Vlad?
yeah. Okay, well, maybe I say his name wrong then. I will show. Give me a sec. I'm gonna try.
Vlad! Oh my god, I
Vlad!
thought Vlad.
Yeah.
Vlad, not Vlad.
I don't know how to say
Vlad.
his name. Like Vitaly Volochai. You know it?
Vlad, right?
Yeah. That's how you say
Oh,
it.
okay.
That's not the same as Vladimir.
No, no,
Yes,
I thought
because
it's
Vladimir, who
Vlad.
is Vladimir?
Yeah, because like, okay, whatever. There is like a 1 in his name, dude. This guy, Vitaly Volochai. So
yes,
he
Vitaly
sent me a
Volochai,
message. I guess he's
Vilna,
watching the
okay.
show.
Hello, Vlad.
You're gonna put me on the spot like this? All right, so you can get in touch with him to, I guess, if you want to cast the next upcoming event. But he basically confirmed that there is gonna be a Russian broadcast, which I agree with you is very important. I was just at IEM Katowice, and the Russian stream, well, it's CSGO obviously, but the Russian stream for that had 300k viewers. That's insane. So the Russian audience is there. I know that Russia loves Warcraft 3, obviously. And yeah, it's pretty good news.
How many viewers did you say?
300k.
It's its absolute
Wow.
record. Yeah.
It's
Really?
for CSGO, just the Russian stream.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but there was a
that's
Russian
lot.
team in final, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
NATO
yeah.
Spincer.
Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. It's gonna be Rising Star Cup Season 1 finals. Yeah, we finally reached the finals, and the top 8 players from the rankings basically are in there. And Hawk is in there, so he's gonna be able to tell us about some of his games. So we had Happy, Spiral, Hawk, Blade, Foggy, Chic, X-Lord, and Cash take part in this one. Hawk, you lost to Blade in the upper brackets, but then you beat Spiral. And this weekend you're going to be demolishing X-Lord very swiftly. So how's it been going?
So yes, I lose to Blade. Yes, but I'm so angry again because I have in first game 200 ping,
Yeah.
and then I play so angry and I lose second game, and third game I have more comfortable and winning, and in last game I have same problem ping. I don't know, maybe it's about Blizzard server or my internet, but my stream it's fine.
Yeah.
So I just lose to Blade, but it's okay. Blade play very strong in mirror game. Yeah, and Blade every time say I beat Happy easy.
I did happy easy. Oh my god. Oh,
Recorded.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blade is so funny guy. I think always
he's
drunk.
always drunk. Yeah.
I mean, he was right. The games against Happy were easy, just not for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe because you win one game in ladder.
I saw him beat him a few times. And what about your games against Spiral? Because you lost to Spiral previously in some tournament, I remember.
Yeah, in Rising Cup in 10, I'm not
Yeah.
sure. So it's Spiral played always same, Farser TC. And this time I learned how to play because I watch how Lowlit playing versus Focus when he used human. He just played Priest and Mass Orcs without spell breakers, and it's easy to counter Focus. So I just play same against Spiral, and I think winning easy this time. So
Are you
and,
telling me you learned how to play against Orc from Lola is Human?
Yeah, yes.
That's crazy.
Played very nice. Played in random.
Yeah.
Sometimes I meet him in Netis, and he played human so close for me. And he say he beats Sok and Chaemika very easy in human mirror. So, but I don't know why he played in DreamHack use Night Elf against Hitman and Focus.
Yeah.
If human easy to beat.
You think so?
I'm not think so, but for a lot of players it's easier.
Yeah.
But not for Lean or Fly maybe. So when next I played versus X-Lord, it's the best of 5. It's too hard for me, but I have special strategy for this.
Ooh.
I prepare
Nice.
Rage and
Exciting.
expansion.
I can't wait for the rifle caster 1 base. That's gonna be very
No,
innovative.
Paladin rifles.
Too hard to play.
So you're confident?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, And I hope Cash winning Blade,
Yeah.
because I don't want to play again Mirror. It's too hard to play Mirror games. Breakers versus Breakers.
Yeah.
And Cash played so funny against Chic. He played just random. So I'm not sure when he played against Blade, which race he used. Maybe a Night Elf. I'm not sure. So
What the hell? Xlord didn't play the semifinals? I didn't even notice.
yeah, it's Dev win because X-Lord played 2 cups in same time.
Yeah, and
Are
I
you kidding
wanted
me?
to ask you guys, what do you think about it? Is it okay? Is it even okay to play 2 cups at the same time? ESL Pro Open. And
Not okay.
Yeah, there's so much money in this one as well. Like
Because he in the ESL Cup he played against Happy, but he say I need go to play versus Cash, and Happy, okay, I can wait. Best of 5. He just waiting for 1 hour maybe, and Foggy just don't want to wait, and so he have the flus.
oh, that's crazy.
It's good topic for this.
Actually, we might have Xlord on the show later. Like we have him scheduled for another show. I'm starting to round up guests for like the next few weeks, so I guess we'll ask him about it. But yeah, it's a tricky situation.
Post on Twitter, so but bad admins don't want to wait me, and Foggy, why you not?
yeah, because he was actually blaming or complaining the organizers. I didn't understand this because he couldn't. I mean, it's strange. I don't know the position of player. It was very strange.
It's called Money Wolf, guys.
Neo right now is in bed chilling. He thought he was gonna watch he was gonna watch a nice show, and then he hears about this. It's pretty crazy, these situations. I feel like it's hard sometimes, right? You need to make things work. In StarCraft, it was the same. Like there was always like 2 cups or something. I remember like, and then there's some players like Bly. You know, they always would play 2 cups, and then if you met them in 1 cup, you for sure you're gonna have to wait a little bit of time and stuff. So it's the
Starshaped. But he just played 1 cup.
what?
Wait, Starshaped, if you play against him, you always have to wait like 10-15 minutes.
Why? Because you play 2 cups, or?
No, he doesn't, but he's just slow.
Yeah, just like now, we were waiting for you to get on the call. Like, what is he doing? He's like, he's styling his hair and everything, all looking perfect. Like, are you kidding me? Did you guys follow this tournament, Wanderbraun? Like, did you follow this tournament closely?
Yeah, I casted it.
Yeah.
Well, there was many interesting games, but the only thing which I didn't understand why Cash played Night Elf actually against Undead. Both Shake and X-Sword, not Orc. It's like, what has happened?
Cash is a little bit crazy like that sometimes, I think.
I think that they played. I mean, X-Lord won the last Rising Cup, right? And he was playing against Cash, and he lost 1-3 against X-Lord. He was playing Orc. Yeah, he was playing Orc, and I believe that's why he tried with Night Elf now. But I'm also surprised about that. I think Cash would have a lot of better chances with Orc too.
Yeah. I mean, he beat Shake. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wait, he played human one? Wait, what? Oh, he played all races.
He's played random.
Yeah, he plays random.
And he won 3-0?
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How did he win a game with human?
He pushed. There was a dread on expect.
Oh my god, he was staring at him. That's so sick.
Yeah.
I need to see those games. Starshaped, did you watch the games?
Yeah, I actually watched quite a few of these. I agree with you guys. I was kind of surprised that Cash would off race, but I'm really happy that X-Lord played Maskargs against him on Twisted Meadows. So I don't think he's ever gonna go Night Elf again against Undead. That's like, I hope he learned his lesson. He should just stick to Orc, because you can't lame against Orc, but you can get lamed really hard if you're Night Elf. So
yeah,
that was fun to watch. Shake against Foggy, I think, was really cool, because Shake was actually ahead at one point, 2-1. But then he kind of like fell back on some strange, cheesy strategies. I think maybe he lost confidence, so he wanted to like cheese a victory. I think if he just played straight up, probably could have beat Foggy. Like he was playing really well.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
Pit Lord second twice apparently.
Yeah, he did like Necromancers, both of those games, and Necromancers against Night Elves. That just doesn't work. It's so bad.
No, there are some strats, but okay.
If you're the Great Wall, you can
Yes,
probably pull
yes.
it off.
Yes, I'm talking about
I
the
hate that
Genie.
guy. Did this so many times with Necros. Even like
Yeah.
Pit Lord first is hard to beat. What about you, KnOff?
Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, just about this tournament. Like, did you catch the games and?
Oh,
Any
yeah.
surprises?
Let me see. I'm gonna take up. Yeah, I was watching some of the games between Happy and Spyro. And I didn't really go that well for Spyro. Not sure.
Yeah, the orcs are not doing too hot in this tournament.
Yeah,
They only won one map.
I think Spyro hasn't been able to play that much lately.
Yeah.
And I also think he had pretty bad confidence going into the match against Happy. I mean, of course, it's hard to like go in with a like full confidence that you're gonna win, but I could feel it in his gameplay that he wasn't that confident. Some of the moves that he did was not really the way he uses to play.
Yeah.
And also I do feel that triple hero against Happy is probably the best way to go as Orc. And since Spyro mostly plays with Farseer and TC, he doesn't really use to play that much. I believe that's why he still went for Farseer and TC. But if he practiced more with Blade, especially against Undead, I think he can really do even better. Because some maps are better for Farseer TC and some is better for the triple hero, I would say.
Are you guys surprised that there is no more players trying to copy people? Like, Focus just beat Happy at DreamHack. Shouldn't people be watching those games and being like, okay, that's exactly how I'm going to play against Happy? Like, I feel like this is not done enough, in my opinion. Like, today I played against Sinfi as Night Elf, and, I sent that replay to, like, Starshaped, Lado, and I'm like, look at this. Like, this is ridiculous. Why don't every Night Elf do this on Conceal Hill? He just buy two stuff.
It's like people say in my chat, why you don't play like Infi? Infi did 3-0 against Happy in final.
But
just play like this.
Yeah, but as much as those guys are like an over-exaggeration, at the same time, they definitely have a point. I feel like those games haven't been studied enough and haven't been copied. I rewatched those VODs so many times, so I'm starting to copy more and more of stuff that he did, but he basically did everything perfect in those games, and he also found perfect items. But like the tower placement was amazing. Everything with his timing, he never fell behind on like anything. Started everything on time. But yeah, like the games went his way from the first minute. But I still think that, like, I'm just surprised. I play so many Night Elf, like they complain about human, and then they're just like massing hunts and trying to beat me with mass hunts. It's like, you're not gonna beat me with this. Like this is a pretty garbage strategy. Like unless I expand really greedy or something. Like, and then like you complain about the matchup, but like the build that Infi did against me today, like why don't every Night Elf do this on Conceal Hill? Like it's so strong in my opinion. So I really don't understand why. And like it's the same thing now. We're talking about Spiral versus Happy. An Orc just beat Happy. Like not many people can beat Happy in a best of 3 or a best of 5. If I was an Orc player, I would study the shit out of those games of Focus against Happy and copy it. So why do you guys think this is not done more? Like, and for example, have you guys done this, KnOff?
Yeah, but like I said, in Spyro case, I think it's because he has mostly been practicing Farseer and TC and didn't really feel confident enough with the Blade triple hero. Okay, I have been watching Spyro a lot of his games, so I know he doesn't favor Blade at all, really. So if it was another Orc player, he would probably go for triple hero. At least I would do it if I played against Happy now. And like you said, I mean, for me, when I'm playing most and like preparing for tournaments and etc., I always try to copy and learn from the best orcs and adapt to that kind of playstyle. So I get your point, but I guess we all have certain ways to go and how we play against different races. I mean, it's very big difference in the play style. So
yeah,
And Spiral, he has always been known for playing a lot of Farseer. So I guess that's why. But I get your point, and myself, I always try to learn from the top orcs, watch a lot of replays, and adapt to that. But I have always been enjoying playing Blade too, so maybe it's different for me.
What about you, Starshaped? You study Moon's replays. Like, are we gonna see mass hunts trying to snipe all the orcs' main buildings?
I think that's an interesting question in general. Like, it's something I've never really done that much. I've always just kind of played the way I want to play or the way I feel is strong or suits me. And to some extent, I think, like, if you look at Spiral, for example, compared to Focus, I think Spiral's a very smart player. I think he wins a lot of games on his decision making, maybe not his micro per se. And I think Focus is one of those players who just he's mechanically almost perfect. Like, he can beat Happy straight up. So yeah, I mean, on one hand, you could watch those replays and try and copy him. But if you feel that you, as a player, don't really match up with Focus, then maybe it feels like a waste of time. Like, yeah, I can try and play thousands of Blade Master games and try and get as good as him, or I can try and win the way I think I can win, which I guess in Spiral's case is with Farseer and tier 2 expos and stuff. So
that's a good point.
So it kind of depends.
What about you, Hawk? Why didn't you study in more and play like him, like Instant did?
I hate you, Todd. It's about 2 months. People say it. Play like Infi.
No, but seriously, did you watch those VODs many times and did you try to apply like the stuff that happened in those games? Or?
Yes, sure. I watching it. I played same maybe 2 years ago. Like many footmans, no fight against Undead. But I think new strategy from Happy, like third hero Pit Lord, it's too hard to counter because Pit Lord don't care about how many towers you build and just kill you peasants. So I think Happy learning too much about how to counter this. Like if you use the pairing, use tank drops, but you need perfect start without some mistakes. Like if Happy kill a lot of peasants and deny your creeps. So maybe if you have perfect start, it's work. But in my options, I need play like standard, like without tanks, just expansion and Arcan Sanctum and just 2 workshops for Gyrocopters.
Yeah.
So,
Wanderbraun, do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, they're all everything about play styles because Asians play Chinese and Koreans actually absolutely another game compared to Europeans. Yeah, there are some similar things because it's one game, Warcraft, but at the same time they like Asians are much more creative as far as I see. I am casting Warcraft 3 only for 1 year, but almost all strats came from the Asia actually, and European adapted it into their play style. So I don't know. Even right now, I'm casting a lot of European tournaments, weeklies, and I see pretty much the same strats over and over again. There rarely something new. While at the same time, sometimes I watch back to Warcraft streams about Asian tournaments, and there is some shit going on all the time. I like every matchup is have new heroes, new like strats, new ideas. People are trying to do something to create something. So I'm just suppose that Asians are more trying to find new ways to play.
Yeah.
So it's like just play styles, and that's it.
All right, let's move on to our next topic. It's the news of all of the cup, and there's a lot of them. Let me edit that real quick. Yeah, the cup news. So the first one is the ESL Open Cup number 5, which took place last Sunday, and which saw Happy actually big surprise here. Wow. Take the first place after beating Death Note in the quarterfinals. By the way, like these quarterfinals, like we've talked about this, but they really need to be best of 3 in my opinion. I think that would be so much better. Then he beat X-Lord 2-0 and then 3-0 against Hawk in the finals. Hawk, how did you feel after these games?
In this final, I tried to play Mountain King first and Mass Footmans, but Happy have new strategy. He just push and build expansion on tier 2 in same time.
Yeah.
So I just played 2 racks and Mass Footmans. And I think Mass Footmans can beat it, but he just nuke my Mountain King, and that's it. But in last game, in last refuge, have a lot of chance. But in late game, when you have Mountain King like 5 level, and he have Dark Ranger, you just can't use your Mountain King in front line because he used silence, and you need priests. But without Archmage, you don't have mana for it. And you don't have time for upgrade priest for masters. So I think maybe next time I use 2 Arcane Sanctum for spellbreakers in first time, and then switch to priests. Maybe.
Did you get the idea for this build from Likings?
What?
Nothing. Wanderbraun, did you cast this?
No, I was cutting Rising Star Archive.
It's at the same time. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Starshaped and KnOff, did you play?
No.
No, I missed all of this actually.
Of course, yeah. You guys would have been in the quarters. What am I talking about? At least. Did you catch any of the games, or
I don't think so.
You didn't want to watch a bunch of Undeads beat everybody.
Yeah, this looks like a really boring bracket. I'm sorry. But I will say it's cool to see Chechi. I can never pronounce it.
Yeah.
He's
Chechi,
back and he's doing really well. So he's I guess making a comeback now. He played today also in the GGG's Cup. Came pretty far.
The worst
So
name.
that's cool. Yeah, the worst name. Maybe it makes more sense in Russian. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. No, it don't.
There was a tournament in Inferno Online. That's in Stockholm, right?
Yeah.
Which you guys
I
took
guess.
part in. So, how many players were there? Is that like the entirety of all the participants?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of need to give a bit of a background here, I think, because...
Okay, first of all, no, I need to ask. What does Big Body Bugatti look like?
What?
There's somebody called Big Body Bugatti.
I don't remember that player.
Oh my god.
I could have missed that.
Alright, go
Let me
ahead,
see.
Starship.
Jesus Christ.
I have to check the bracket now. I gotta see.
No, I mean, like, you were gonna tell us, give us some background.
It
Yeah,
could have been the guy that played with was it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all right. So here's the background. They hosted this event where they announced this event on Facebook, and it was kind of obvious from reading the event information that they didn't really know Warcraft 3 or how it worked, because, for example, they announced that the 2 vs 2 Cup would start at like 10 in the morning, and then 1 hour later the 1 vs 1 Cup would start. So like there's some red flags here. Like I don't think these guys know how Warcraft works, you know? And the fact that it was so early, it was going to start at 10 in the morning on a Friday. So obviously nobody could show up because if you're working, for example. So thanks to Endars, who was kind of working as a caster for this event, he managed to get them to change some of the things so that it started a bit later and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was very under announced, I would say, under advertised. Like nobody in the scene knew about this, I guess, except for us. So it kind of seems like the guys handling this didn't really know, where to advertise or how to organize it properly. But it did happen. We showed up, and there were. It did happen, which I wasn't sure it would. I thought, maybe we'd show up and they'd just cancel it because they didn't know what they were. Yeah, but it started at 3 instead of 10, so that was nice. People could kind of take a few hours off work and show up. So I showed up, KnOff showed up, Effect, and Dark Move, old school Swedish player. Endars was there to cast. Thorzane was there to cast. He was also hired.
Yeah.
But he had to leave. He had to take a flight at like 5. So I mean, the whole thing was kind of like he casted one game, then he had to leave, which was unfortunate. So I mean, a lot of miscommunications, and when the tournament would start, like they didn't have a bracket, they didn't have a map pool, they didn't like understand that we needed maps and a bracket. Like, they didn't know how this would work, so we kind of had to help them on the spot, and seeding, stuff like that. But eventually we did get a 2-2 tournament with random allies. They had some kind of system where all the good players got random allies from the rest of the players. And then after that, like we had dinner, and then the 1v1 tournament started at like 9. So it was very, very late.
At 9 p.m. the 1v1 tournament
Yeah.
started. And it's like, wait, it's not all best of 1, is it?
It was best of 1 until the semis, and then the finals were best of 5, and the semis were best of 5. But I mean, by that time, because people first expected it to start at 10 in the morning, and then it was pushed to 3 p.m. in the afternoon. But by the time the actual tournament started, most people had left. Like it was us hardcore players left and a few others. So I think from their point of view and from Blizzard's point of view, it was kind of like they didn't get out what they could have gotten out of it, like as far as advertising goes, and people showing up.
We see, Todd. We see.
What's happened in this match over here?
What
happened in Starshaped versus KnOff? We need to know. Tell the good people.
Yeah, so we got seeded. Me, KnOff, and Effect played rock paper scissors for who would get seed number 1.
Yeah.
And Effect won the rock paper scissors, so he didn't have to play me or KnOff in the semis. He kind of got a free or easy path to the finals. Yeah, I mean, I smashed KnOff 3-0.
How did the games go?
They were actually, I mean, the score 3-0. I mean, on paper it looks kind of bad, but I would say the matches were pretty even. So you shouldn't only look at the score. We had some nice games.
I will.
Mass Hunt?
Yeah, I actually played Mass Hunts, which sounds like typical me, but as KnOff could tell you, that's not how I've been playing recently. So I think I kind of surprised him a bit.
KnOff, is that true?
Yeah, Starshaped, he did some really good decisions in the early game. Let me think now. I need to think about the games.
What hero?
He suppressed the games.
What hero did you play? Keeper?
Yeah, Keeper. Keeper and Demon Hunter 1 game as well. So 3 times Keeper, 1 times Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
Or 2 times Keeper, 1 times Demon Hunter.
And just to be sure, it was a 3-0. you won 3 maps and KnOff won no map, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What about the finals?
So yeah, I mean, the finals was me against Effect, and I think both KnOff and I were preparing for Effect. Like, we usually have pretty even games, me and KnOff, so I don't think either of us prepared too much for our matchup. But we both played with Thorzane to try and beat Effect. So I felt very prepared, and I abused the Warden like shit, like every game Warden. Well, actually, Demon Hunter 1 game. But yeah, I mean, it was a same thing there. Even though it was 3-1, the games were pretty close. He won the first one. And yeah, the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, it sure is.
And I won on computers. That's pretty cool.
Oh, you did? Like a full tower?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I put the specs in I think.
Like 2,000 euros worth. So
Yeah.
Wow.
good.
For messing hunts, not bad.
Yeah.
But who sponsored it?
Yeah, it was Blizzard, I think it turned out to be.
Yeah,
Blizzard.
Actually, Blizzard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they I guess they gave it all to Inferno Online, and then they were supposed to organize it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't think they really knew what to do with the game, because I mean most people I guess are playing CS:GO or Fortnite or Minecraft, so having a Warcraft 3 tournament is kind of strange. So hopefully in the future, if this keeps happening, I mean, my big concern is things like this happen, nobody shows up because it's poorly organized, and then people blame the game instead of the organization.
Yeah.
So maybe this was like the last time this happens. I hope it's not. I hope we'll see more of these kind of LAN tournaments, and maybe they can reach out to the community, reach out to Back to Warcraft and stuff like that, to get the word out, get casting, get invitations. Look at the Iron Couch, for example. This could have been an Iron Couch if it would have been organized more properly.
Yeah.
Well, you guys didn't show up at Iron Couch, so I don't know if it's a very good example.
You should have held it in Inferno Online. Nobody showed up.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, but we gotta
We'll
come
have it in your
next
house.
time-
Yeah, your
next
girlfriend
time for
can
sure.
step aside and stop playing video games.
Iron Couch 2.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right. Next tournament we're going to talk about is the Back to Warcraft Invitational number 3, which was just announced. And I think, if I'm understanding this correctly, it's going to feature Korean players. So it's a special tournament with Korean players. Crowdfunding is being used for this. And I don't see a schedule, but I'm guessing it's going to be happening pretty soon. It's going to be 4 players, invites only, so only Korean players. And actually, where can you see? Oh, payouts here. Pretty big prize pool for a 4-player tournament. First place so far, we're at $1,120. First place is going to get $560 and second place $280. So it's pretty nice if you guys want to donate towards that to build up the prize pool even more. I'll put the link in the chat, and I'll put it under the video in the description on YouTube as well. It's there, maturino.com. But
Did Back to Warcraft bring something in the prize pool, or just only people who contributed?
I don't think they did, but I mean they organize it and they will cast it, so that's probably pretty good. I think.
It's nice.
Yeah. Actually, I'm surprised they didn't put a cap on the prize pool. Like, it's gonna be nice to save like some money for like organizing the next one. I mean, obviously, I'm all for like giving a good prize pool for the players as well, but yeah, just wanted to mention that real quick. I mean, we don't know the players yet. Hopefully, they will be announced pretty soon as well. But very nice to see the community come together for this and already raising $1,100. That's pretty big. Up next, there was the Heroes Earth Warcraft 3 Invitational, which already is well underway as well. There's so many tournaments. It's crazy. It's always the same people. Hawk, you're in this too.
Yeah.
What is this? You're everywhere, man. So you beat Insuperable 2-0, and then Foggy beat you 3-1, and
Yeah.
you beat Hitman 3-1, and you're gonna play against Sides.
Mhm.
Is that in 2 days?
Yeah, in Friday.
So how about your games so far? Anything special?
Games against Foggy. It's Foggy played very nice. Use Warden, always killed my peasants. It's how to work. And I think if I go to grand final and meet Foggy again, I need to watch replays and thinking about how to beat Warden right now. And I think Mountain King in first, it's very nice against Warden, because when you use one base push riflemans, it's easy to snipe your peasants because you don't enough gold and wood for upgrades. And Night Elf just can build 2 protectors or 2 barracks, and archers stand and easy to defense. So, and next I played versus Side, and it's guy very nice. He played always Dreadlord first. So I hope it's good games.
Yeah.
For me.
Wanderbraun, did you catch these games?
I'm not sure, but I suppose because there were so many tournaments. Yeah, I
Yeah.
casted it. I suppose.
You casted this? Why are you not listed here?
Yeah, I casted it. I add myself in the broadcasting. Well, there are many interesting games. I'm very happy to see Insupperable in the tournaments because I think that he is not very. He has nice potential, and there is American players, so it's nice to see American players because it's American audience.
Well, there
But-
was some American players, and then Hawk kind of took care of that.
Yeah,
From Canada.
American swear.
Yeah, North Americans with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, continue Wanderbraun. Sorry.
And I remember he played versus me and used Leech first. And
Yeah.
tried mass goals. But it's not work.
What do you think about Hitman Hawk, by the way?
About he played style or what?
I
Anything
don't know,
you
as a
want.
player, as a play style, overall, anything you want.
No, he just great guy. In when I meet him in China in first time last WGL, he helped me in a restaurant for order food because he a little speak in Chinese. So he say he parents from China, so he can speak a little, and but he's still young and in. Online he's so angry sometimes and so I think he need more focus on games, not about chat. So and I think he have a good potential.
Starshaped. Did you just hear that? Foggy made a warden and then he used Fun of Knives on Hawk's peasants.
Yeah, I mean, I learned that too. I was
You
playing.
can use Warden and Maskans.
Yeah, I mean, let me be very clear here. I've almost never played Warden in my life. I've never enjoyed this hero, but I was playing custom games with Thorzane to prepare for the Inferno Online thing, and I was playing Demon Hunter first, and I kept losing. And he told me like, no, the Warden, you have to play Warden. Like, why wouldn't you play Warden? And so I did. Now I'm only playing Warden against human. I've seen the light. I think this is the only way you can play. You have to go Warden, and you have to kill workers. And I mean,
Yeah, you won against Effect with Warden.
yeah. And I've almost never played Warden, so I mean,
Yeah, 3-1, right?
yeah.
Unlike versus KnOff, who you beat 3-0.
I think Effect just can't micro-ism because he's so big. It's more muscle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I actually watched some of these. I think when we're talking about Cash, for example, he's one of those players that his off race is actually really, really good. Like most people, if they off race, I think they're trolling or they don't care or they're trying to be bad mannered. But with Cash, it really feels like he can just play whatever race and pretty much beat most people. Like his off race is almost as good as his orc. Like he beat Side and Undead Mirror. That seems really hard to do.
It's because Cash not play Torque and Ladder. He play only random.
Yeah.
So it's like Infi, but Infi say I don't fun when I played human in Ladder. It's why he played random.
And he always does really lame stuff as well.
Yeah, every time when I meet Infi, he played lame.
Yeah.
If he played Undead, Dreadlord,
Yeah.
must knows Karen's form.
KnOff, did you catch some of these games?
Let me see. Which game were we talking about now?
Anyone? I guess you're mostly interested in the Or games. I guess Cash beat Neutron, who then forfeited against Hitman.
Actually, I'm not sure. I watched. Let me think here. What maps was it that Cash was playing against Neutron?
Northern and Last Refuge.
I think it doesn't matter because Neutron played from USA, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe he played on laptop, so and he forfeit against Hitman.
Maybe that's why he
Yeah.
forfeited.
Yeah, his hotkeys didn't work or something like that, so he was complaining a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
KnOff, yeah?
No, I didn't watch anything from those games. Guess I have something to catch up then.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I remember the side versus spiral games were also really cool with the
it's
the Dreadlord 3 times, which I mean, I feel like it feels like a troll strategy, but it seems to be working against really good players, and especially when it works several times in a row, that's when it feels like this might become more viable.
Yeah.
And I mean, if Undead can play Dreadlord expansion, I'm gonna switch to Undead because that's so fun. It's so broken. It's so stupid.
Well, actually, Scythe is playing like absolutely another play as a Dreadlord. It's like Dreadlord 1 base and expand on Series 2 is like fucking amazing. So, yeah. That's why I want to see even more games Dreadlord by him because it's unique, absolutely.
I've been complaining a lot in the Swedish chat about Undead having free expansions at Tier 2. So it's definitely a race that I feel like if we see more of this, if like Infi or like 120 catches on to these expansion shenanigans in serious games, I mean, the meta might shift, honestly.
Okay, up next we had the GG double exclamation mark. So really I should say GG! G's Weekly 4, which was last Wednesday, 26th. And actually, Happy didn't win.
Oh my god.
What's up? There's a new sheriff in town. Foggy took all the money, $222.
Best of one.
So what? The money is still the same in his bank account.
That's pretty sick.
$100 or something like that. There's a lot of money.
Yeah.
200. Okay, whatever. It's many a lot.
Hawk, why didn't you play this one?
I think I have the win because I played 2 cups, so I just give the win.
How is there 2 cups on a Wednesday?
It's last cup heroes. This because
Heroes
I play,
Hearts.
It was okay.
Yeah.
same time.
Oh my
and
god.
Cody played first, and then he go to this tournament.
Yeah.
Nice timing.
Yeah, bad for me.
They're actually Happy. Actually, had some decent opposition. Played Pleased, then Sonic, and then Foggy. And Death Notes with a decent run as well, lost to Sonic. I guess it's nice to see Happy not win everything.
Yeah, but it's a very strange match because Happy didn't collect lumber for like 5 minutes or something like that. So he had like 2,000 gold and 0 lumber.
Yeah.
That was the biggest reason why he lost actually. But still, Foggy won, so yeah.
I mean, Happy lost his heroes to creeps in one game like a few weeks ago, and he still beat Foggy. So even if there are mistakes, just beating Happy, I feel is really huge.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's see.
Can I ask? I noticed in the round of 32 that Kemper was playing against Please. Kemper, I really like Kemper. He's always been one of my favorite humans. Do you guys know if he's making a comeback? Is he playing actively?
I have no idea.
X3 Demon, are you here?
I think there's a lot of players that never really quit, right? Like maybe they stop. Like
Yeah, but I would have known. I pay attention to this guy. He's one of my favorites. But
I mean, by that I mean like
He's a
maybe
Russian,
they stop
right?
playing, but they'll still play on and off here and there.
yeah, that's true. I hope he comes back for real. He was really good with Riflecaster.
Remember when X-Lord announced his retirement? I met him the next day on NetEase, so nice joke. What a funny guy.
Yeah, just talking shit.
All right, let's move on. Next topic is gonna be balance.
Yeah, I need to go to sleep now, guys.
Okay, just cover this topic real quick with us, and then you go. Okay.
Okay.
All right, balance. Give it
Let's
to
start
us
with
straight
the
up.
balance
Every
topic.
matchup. Rate
my
every
God.
matchup for Orc, like how it goes, and then give us your ranking for the best to worst race.
Yeah, okay, I would say the best is against Undead for Orc, and second. Ooh.
No, but I mean, give us like I know you want to go to bed, and like you're gonna go in like 2 minutes, but give us a quick breakdown of like Orc against Undead. You think is like what way and because of what?
I understood that. Yeah, well, I guess it's a lot about the early game, and I feel it's pretty like if you manage to get your creeping done and get your blade up with some good items, and even if you can get to level 3, that's going to give you a big advantage against the other player. I haven't been playing a lot against Dreadlord, so I'm not really sure like how that would be if I face someone like Side now, for example, or 120 if they play Dreadlord against me. So I can't really say much about that strategy, but against standard Undead player, I would say it's a lot about the early game, and then also it's a lot about that you have good control from the start of the game, and it's kind of easy to know what the undead player will do in the beginning of the game, and I guess that's what's fitting my playstyle too. That I feel that I have a better control from what they are gonna play against other races. Let's say Night Elf. It's a lot about the scouting and really know what kind of strategy they are playing. But against the undead player, it's so much easier to adapt your playstyle and know what creeping you're gonna do, etc. It's and so I guess that's a big thing against undead. And after that,
Undead. You already covered Undead and Night Elf, but human?
Yeah, I would say...
Be very careful.
Yeah.
Choose your words.
I've already told anyway, so...
I think Orc and Night Elf, the matchup is pretty balanced right now. I don't feel there is too much things that needs to be changed. And so I would say it's like 50-50, at least from my experience. But if you don't have a good early game against Night Elf, like if you lose the grunt or if you face a level 3 keeper before your shadow is out, that's going to be really, really hard for you to come back in a game like that. So you have to be really careful, and you need to have good control in the early game against Night Elf. So it's not the same thing. Like against Undead, it's not really that important, but against Night Elf, you need to be a lot more focused and really know what creeps you can take. And if you lose your grunts, it's really hard. And that's gonna be making the creeping harder with Shadowhunter, and so yeah.
How about Stomp level 3?
Stomp level 3. Yeah, that's a good spell, especially against Undead. Also against human, of course.
So your ranking of races from best to worst? Or like worst, let's do it better. From worst to best.
Yeah, worst, I mean, for me, it's probably human and has always been. Like, it's hardest for me to play against.
No, I mean like the worst race in the game.
Ah, you
I was
mean
like,
the
really?
worst race?
Finally, somebody.
I was like, what?
Oh my god, this question. I never thought about it, really. I just play the game and...
Yeah, that's weird. I think about it every day.
Yeah. The first race. Let's say, I would say Orc is the hardest race to play, but it's not the worst race.
Oh Here we go. So hard to
No,
get this good.
I don't. I think it's really balanced. I'm sorry, but I don't have any worst and best rates, really.
Okay, just...
I mean,
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of Undeads players that are coming up that are really, really good right now. But I think that's because Happy is like showing the way. You know what I mean? They copy his strats and try to... Yeah, they have someone to learn from.
Yeah. We just had one question from Incinerator. He asked, question for KnOff, should anyone without large muscles be allowed to play Orc?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna point anyone out here, but there are. It's all right. I mean, as long as you have some nice crits, you can play Orc.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna let you go to bed, but first, give us some shout outs. Like, where can people find you? Social media, Twitch, everything that you want. If you want to say hi to, whatever, your mom. Now is the time.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thanks for the invitation to town hall meeting. It has been a great time, and like always, Todd doing great stuff for the community, and I think this is what Warcraft really needs. So, and yeah, you and Back to Warcraft has been doing an amazing job recently with all the tournaments. I mean, there are so many guys that are doing a lot for Warcraft right now, and you can see with all the tournaments we have been talking about today. I mean, it's so much going on, and I have been working my ass off with my new company, so I haven't really been able to catch up with everything. But I'm really hyped for the future with all that is going on, and especially to meet you guys. If everyone comes to DreamHack Summer, it's gonna be a great time. And yeah, I'm streaming at KnOff here on Twitch, and yeah, I mean that's basically it. And,
Social media?
Social media, I have. Maybe we can add something to Twitter or a post, something like that. But I have a PT KnOff is my Instagram, and Twitter is KnOff_sweet. Yeah, you have it here on the screen, so you have the right name there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you too, guys.
Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. See you later, everyone.
See you, man.
Good night.
See you. Bye.
All right, I need to give me a sec. I need to reopen one window with this. Hopefully it won't create an echo. 1 2 1 2. Can you guys still hear me? I was afraid it might do that. It muted everyone. Okay, give me a second. Can you guys join Discord for voice? I'm gonna create a call in the group that we were in, and then I still need to move people around. I'm calling you guys on.
Yeah.
Stay. No. Stay in the. Yeah. Make sure you stay in the tunnel meeting thing. But we're gonna use for the voice. We're gonna use Discord.
I hear an echo now when you're talking.
Oh, do you? Oh, yeah. But you need to mute me in.
Wait.
Acknowledges.
You need to mute me in the. What is it called?
Yeah. Okay. So I have to
The
do that. For
Chrome.
everyone.
You can do right click at the top on the tab, and then you can do mute. Yes,
Hi.
Sorry about that.
Mute site.
Yeah. You see the tab. Do you use Chrome?
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
right click the tab at the top.
All right. Nice.
Yeah. Technical issues. Not a big fan.
Oh, I'm Knopf.
I will move you. There you go. All right, so I think we're gonna move on to. Actually, no. Wait, we still need to go about balance with you guys. I just wanted to get it out of the way with KnOff. Let's do Wanderbraun. What's your thoughts about balance? You cast a lot of the game. Like, well, have you noticed one race doing better than the other?
Well, I don't have that much experience because I'm playing Warcraft not for 10 years like you are, but for 1 year. I am quite novice. And I suppose I can't talk about exactly the balance, but I can tell about the entertainment or the viewership because there are some problems that some races uses over and over the same strats the same time because it's very boring to watch all the time the same things. It's hard to watch, actually. For viewers, especially, who want some special things all the time, like in StarCraft, there's much more floor, much more space for new stuff, for some things which can be changed and entertain the viewers. So, I don't know. maybe there is some problems with the races, like Undead, for example, which use one threat against everything, quite building against everything. Death Knight, Leech, and it would be cool if something will be changed, because Blizzard tried to do something, adding Retail Dagger, new healing, and trying to make Dreadrot more valuable to play, but it didn't work, and they like finished to do it in the patch 1.31. They changed Necromancers, which I suppose was very good. Cripple, the first spell, was much better than which it is right now. They changed it back to it was before. Like right now, it's Raise Dead. The second thing, how does it call with Cloud? It's
Unholy Frenzy.
Yes, Unholy Frenzy, and Cripple, the third one. I don't know why they changed it back, but I suppose it would be cool if there's try something to change. I don't mean even nerf or up, but a change. Make the race more valuable, more variety, because it's not okay in the real strategy game that one race has one strat against everything. It's very strange.
I agree with you. Humans trash. Wait, what?
And about the balance, even I watching the game only for 1 year, but I am seeing that even without any patches, the game is evolving all the time. For example, how a year ago orcs were complaining all the time that humans are imbalanced and it's impossible to play. Nothing has changed, no patches released, but at the same time, Lean and other orcs reinvented Farseer with shamans and 2 Kodo into expansion, and it worked pretty well during the WGL and other tournaments. At the same time, Night Elves, even during your shows, complaining that it's impossible to play against humans. Nowadays, we see that every Night Elf play Warden, and this play style against around Warden and winning all the time. Actually, we can see it even in Europe. Foggy against Hawk, it's very hard to Hawk to play against Foggy. It's obvious.
Yeah.
And so even without patches, the balance is changing all the time. So I don't think that there is a right place to complain about anything, because time will endure and bring new strategies and new styles to win everyone.
So what's the worst race and the best race then?
I don't know. Several months ago I thought that Night Elves are the weakest, but right now I don't think so. It's pretty strong. I don't know. I just think I think that is quite well balanced right now. I mean, it's not excellent. It's not giving good, but it's okay. Maybe Undead right now, maybe a little bit just one-way trick, which is like 50 limit army is too strong. We can see it even in Europe, because like half of the professionals, half of the amateurs who play in Europe are Undeads, actually. The best player for Bulgaria, Laber Undead, Poland, Terror Undead, Germans are actually everyone Undead, avoiding Spiro, of course. So I don't know, maybe Undead is just like have a little bit advantage right now, but I don't think that's a big deal. So
I think it is. No. Starshaped. Yeah, take a deep breath.
So what's the question? What do I think about balance, or?
Yeah, like talk about the matchups individually, and then give me your ranking from worst to best race in your opinion.
So the Night Elf matchups, then, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll start with Night Elf against Orc. I feel like Night Elf is a lot easier to play than Orc in this matchup. Like, it's very unforgiving to play Orc against Night Elf against the Keeper Mass Hunts style, because like one mistake, you might get something surrounded early game, you might get your Shadowrun surrounded at the start of the tier 2, and that can kind of snowball into a defeat. Whereas as Night Elf, nothing can really go that wrong. Like, you just have a bunch of hunts running around. Like, you might get your Keeper sniped with the speed scroll or something early. But so all balance aside, it just feels easier to play Night Elf than Orc in this matchup. And I'd say it's probably a bit Night Elf favored, but still pretty balanced overall. when I watched Moon play against Focus, it kind of felt like it was super imbalanced. But I think that's just Moon. Like if you watch other games, it feels a bit more fair. Night Elf against Undead is probably like the most balanced matchup at this point, I'd say. And I'd say they're like equally difficult to play for both sides. But Undead has the ability to do these kind of fast expansion stuff with Dreadlord or even Death Knight or whatever, and they can play gargoyles. Like they have a lot of variation they can do, but most people don't. So that's always frustrating for me. Like you almost have to expect the Ted Fiend style that Happy does, but every now and then you'll run into someone who plays Gargs, expansions and stuff like that, and you just have to be prepared for it. Whereas Night Elf doesn't really have a whole lot of options, I'd say. Most people are just playing Demon Hunter Naga over and over. So it's a fairly balanced matchup, I would say. Night Elf against Human. I don't know. Like a month ago, I would have said that Human is incredibly broken against Night Elf. Nowadays, I'd still say it's Human favored, and it's a lot easier to play Human against Night Elf than it is to play Night Elf against Human if you're playing Rifle Caster. If you're playing Fast Expansion, I think that's a very difficult playstyle to master, but Rifle Caster is ridiculously easy to play. The push is so efficient, and Night Elf has very limited room for error. Like if you make one mistake as Night Elf, I feel like if you lose one archer early game or something bad happens, you can just lose to that push that's coming, regardless if you're playing Warden or Demon Hunter or whatever, or Keeper. But besides that, like besides the fact that it's much easier for Human, I'd still say it's getting kind of balanced without any changes being needed, which is something we've, like Wanderbraun said, we've seen this before. This has happened several times before. So we kind of have to be open to the idea that maybe we don't need to have any changes to the balance to balance the matchup. So yeah, those are my general thoughts for each matchup. As far as ranking races, I think it's better probably to talk about matchups, but if we want to talk generally about races, I'd probably say Orc is the weakest race right now. Because I feel like what I said about Night Elf against Orc is kind of true for every Orc matchup. It feels like it's much more difficult to play Orc than it is to play against Orc. Like Orc against Human to me seems much harder than Human against Orc. Orc against Undead seems a lot harder than Undead against Orc. And Orc against Night Elf feels a lot harder than Night Elf against Orc. So I'd probably say Orc is in the worst spot right now.
What about Human against Undead? You never talked about this matchup.
Oh, am I supposed to talk about every matchup?
No, but like you keep mentioning like other matchups that don't have Night Elf.
Oh,
You're
right.
Like, yeah,
Sorry,
Human against Orc. So I'm curious then.
Human against Undead? Or what do you mean?
Yeah.
What I think about that matchup?
Yeah.
It seems pretty broken for Undead because like Rifle Caster feels very one note, and it feels like Undead already counters that by playing the way they want to play against Fast Expansion. Like they don't have to adapt or like react. Oh no, it's Rifle Caster, it's okay, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing anyway. And Fast Expansion seems very difficult to play like against this kind of
I lost sounds. I think you muted.
What?
Yeah, Starshaped, we can't hear you right now.
Hey,
What?
Can you?
Okay. At least I listened to Hawk. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's Russian stream right now?
Yeah, but you hear me as well?
Yes, right now, yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
it's just Starshaped that we lost. The hell?
Huh?
This is really weird. Okay, wait.
did my
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Right now it works.
so did I get cut off or something?
Yeah. So what were you saying?
What was I saying? Well, I don't know when I got cut off, but
Okay, just give us your race ranking if you can. Anyway.
but yeah, I would say Undead is favored against Human.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as race, yeah, Orc is probably the weakest. Undead probably the second weakest. So like kind of for this, they're kind of like Wanderbraun said, they're very one-dimensional still, even though we still see some fast expansion styles and we see some different things. But Undead is very predictable at the end of the day, and they kind of have to get the same things every game. They have to get the Death Knight, they have to get the Lich, the Orb and stuff. So third, or like I guess second best race would be Night Elf, and best race would be Human. And I think Night Elf and Human are strong in similar ways, that you have a lot of variation in strategy. You have a lot of different heroes you can play, different strategies, different timings.
Yeah.
But Human is just better in all of those categories a little bit than Night Elf. So I'd say that Human is the best.
What about Lados Bears +2 damage? What do you think of that?
Well, if we're talking balance changes, that's a different area.
Yeah.
We can get into that if you want, but maybe we should ask Hawk first what he thinks about his
Hawk.
balance.
Talk to us about all the matchups individually, like Undead, Orc, and Night Elf versus Human, and then your ranking of worst race to best.
I think Human can't win Undead
My man.
in my options, but only Happy, if Happy played Undead. So it's hard to, because Undead always play same first decay and fin push against Human expansion, and it's in nowadays Undead not going to fast harass in level 1. He can creep 2 spots and harass with level 2 with Unholy Aura. So it's easy to move Fiends, Skeletons for harass Human. So you can't, if you can't surround Fiends and kill, so Undead have more Fiends and you can't kill anyone. So it's 1 point. And if you play one base, it's sometimes it's about items, but in late game, you can't harass acolytes because Undead's so fast with Aura. So it's in my points. We need some nerf Undead Aura Unholy. Maybe not like 10, 20, and 13 speed, just maybe 5, 10, and 15, like this. It's about this matchup. Yes. About versus Night Elf, Human. I say before, it's I think it's balance right now. But sometimes if Varden have very fast level 5, it's just always going to you harass peasants, anti-magic, and or in wool. And if you build 10 towers, it's not enough. It's not work. You always lose peasants. So maybe in shop, maybe we need change it, not 2 anti-magic potion for 1, and more cooldown maybe. So it's about this. Against Orc, I think Orc strong versus Human. This strategy like Farseer, TC, fast level 3 TC, and Mascodo. It's pretty hard to counter. And when you use rifles without many Sorks and Priests, in late game, it's just TC uses speed scroll and stomp, and it's hard to split riflemans.
Yeah.
And lighting shield very hard. And maybe I think TC is so broken because in level 5 you have stun for 5 seconds and cooldown 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So you can split for 1 second. So maybe it's need change to 7 or something like this. And if we talk about change spells, it's Mountain King Clap. It's so broken because it's very big area for stomp, and I think it's not like is you if you use Carrion Swarm, you have 200 damage for one unit, but it's not more like 1000. So it's split damage for all. And Mountain King I have don't have like this. So it's very.
So you want a nerf
broken.
clap?
Yeah, I think that. But we need something change like Stormbolt or Bash, because if you nerf something, you need up something like this. And back my aura. Brilliance aura is not OP.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree. We can't have that. Oh my god. That was one of the best changes they made, I think, because now human players actually have to think about the way they use their spells.
Yeah, unlike
Because
Night Elves who
before-
click on Moonwells.
Fair enough.
Anyway, Hawk, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Continue.
But Todd, you like play Mirror in first Mountain King and clap.
No, I almost never play Mountain King like for that. I don't think it's that fun. I think it would be okay to.
Some human players just veto TS and Echo when you can when you can go to Mountain King, because it's so hard to play.
And they try to roll the dice as well. They try to get good items. All this mad. So what about the race ranking? Worst race to best race?
In nowadays?
Yeah.
Oh, but it's different about Europe and Asian, because in Europe Undead is best, because it's happy winning all tournaments, and other Undeads, so many Undeads in Europe.
Yeah.
And when we go to Anaheim, X-Lord winning Rising Cup, so Undead Imba, I think. But if we talk about in world, it's hard to say, because
Come on, just say it like it is, man.
it's because about players. Because when you see how to play Lin in Orc, it's very imba. He just destroy Infi TH. Okay, so Undead first, then Orc, and then Human and Night Elf.
You think Night Elf was race?
I think, yeah.
Look at Starshaped. He's loving this right now.
I didn't put them worst. I put them second best. I disagree with Hawk. I think Night Elf are pretty strong.
Yeah. But like right now, you took in consideration the top level, right, Hawk?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna take some questions. I think we had some questions on the tweets that I posted, and then after that, we'll take a very few questions from the chat, and then I'll let you guys go to bed. Not gonna be a super long one tonight, so let's have a quick look. If you're really tired or something, Hawk, by the way, I understand. If you want to go to bed, like, you don't have to stay. I don't want you to feel the pressure that you have to stay. So just let me know.
I can stay for 10 minutes.
All right, let's do it. Kevin asked how to practice efficiently and effectively. Like, what are the best practices that you all use, etc. Hawk, any
It's
thoughts?
for me. I think best practice it's custom games, or playing with one player in one day, like 20 games or more, and more focus on maps who play on this. So, but I am like play ladder games, because when you play versus one player in one day, it's so many games, you understand how he played, and you always better play it, but only versus him, not against other people's. So I think it's need mix, like custom games and other games, and more watching streams.
Yeah.
And in my options, when I lose to Happy or Foggy, I just after games I'm going to YouTube or Twitch and watching their stream and who they played versus me. Like in this time, he used maybe Moonbell here and Detonate Wisp and like this. So
Starshaped?
I think I agree with Hawk. One of the good things about Reforged being such a fuck up, the fact that there was no ladder, because I've always just played ladder. I hated custom games. I almost never did that. But because there was no ladder and I wanted to prepare for some of these events, I actually played a lot of custom games. And now I've realized the potential there. So if you play like the same map against the same race, the same player, 10 times, you can learn so much. And like I think I can learn more from 5 custom games than 20 ladder games. So even if they add a ladder now, I don't think I'll play ladder. I'm just going to keep playing custom games. I think that's by far the best, especially if you're playing with someone who likes to talk about the game. So like if I played against Orzane, we could play a game and then talk like 5 minutes afterwards. Like, well, why did you do this? Why did I do that? Maybe I should try this. And that way you can learn. But like Hawk said, you have to be a bit careful because you might kind of learn how to play against one player instead of like the matchup, because you kind of learn their ins and outs and exactly what they do, but then you go and play against someone else and they'll do something slightly different and you might not be prepared for it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys have some questions in chat, by the way, you can start writing them and then I'll try and pay attention and then we can answer them.
Todd, could you answer that question? I think that'd be interesting to hear as a former professional
we only have 10 minutes of Hawk, so I kind of wanted to breeze through, but...
Oh, all right.
I think like the best parts or like the best way to improve, in my opinion, is to watch replays. Like when you play, just watch replay every time. If there is good players, watch their replay. Watch what they do and think really hard. Don't just watch it to observe, but like really pick up on stuff that like can be done better. Like in my opinion, nobody does it enough, myself included. I think like when I watch a replay, it's always so clear to me. And also I blame the piece of garbage replayer of the netties because it's like so bad, it's like so laggy. You have to rename and stuff. It's like, but I think it's like you learn so much from watching a replay. It's crazy. Like about timings, about like what your opponent felt in that moment with the vision that he had, like why he did what he did and stuff. There's so much to be learned from that. So in my opinion, I think...
You mean watching your own replays?
Yeah.
Like when you lose and you watch, okay.
Or like even like if you win, you can learn some stuff. But if there is replays of like TH or Infi and you play human, it's like criminal not to watch. Or like Hawk. Any replays that like you can find like that, you should watch them because there is so much to learn always from these games. Like they're gonna do stuff different than you that is like better than some of the stuff you do for sure, no matter who you are.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely focus on the replays. I had a question. Now I kind of lost it. Which one was it? I don't even know. If you guys see any questions, I guess you can let me know. A lot of these are like, I feel like they would take a very long time. Like for example, how would you rate ultimates from best to worst? I mean, I would have a hard time naming 5 ultimates. Come on, like.
I have a YouTube video about that. You can watch my YouTube video.
Yeah.
Although I guess it's a bit out of date.
What's your YouTube?
Let me Starshaped STHLM, I think.
All right, there you go. Go there and you'll answer that.
It's my latest video. It's like a year old at this point, but it's my newest video.
Do we underestimate European players when comparing them to any Asians?
No.
Well, there are almost no professional teams in Europe, so Europeans do not have much time to practice. So obviously Asians have a much more advantage because of the time and the practice. So it's obvious that Asians are overall stronger because they are professionals.
Wanderbraun, what do you think about this one? Anders asked, where do you see Warcraft 3 in 3 years?
It's a very hard question because with this reforged, quite unsuccessful release, let's name it so, it's very hard to say anything. I suppose we will get everything we want to know what will be with Warcraft till the autumn, because at least till the autumn, till the last of the year, there will be support for Warcraft 3. And as far as I know, ESL Pro Tour will work for 3 years, but the prize pool can be changed. So we just have to wait for the end of the year. But I suppose if there will be content creators and players and organizers, we'll be fine. Even we can endure everything, because Warcraft 3 we survived the time where nobody cared about the Warcraft 3 actually.
Yeah.
And it had the community, it had tournaments. Right now we have much more tournaments, much more prize pools, much more teams, professionals, etc. So I suppose everything will be okay, but good? No, it's hard to tell.
Some people asked Hawk, why don't you have a clan, and do you plan on joining a team? I guess they mean.
It's because no teams in Europe, not enough money for me.
So you're looking for a team if a team can offer.
Yeah, I'm looking, but I need more money.
Yeah.
They just not enough for me.
How much?
I can say
$10,000.
Around this.
Yeah. Okay. Be Creative asks, would be interesting to hear from other players. What do they think about balancing every matchup separately with heroes and units, having unique stats depending on the race you are playing against? Starshaped, you want to take this one?
Sounds a bit cumbersome, and a bit like it wouldn't be very transparent. If you're trying to learn the game or watching the game, you'd have to keep up with how everything changes based on the matchups. I do know that in Reign of Chaos, like the Reign of Chaos community before Blizzard killed them, they would often have different map vetoes and map pools depending on the matchup, because Reign of Chaos was very broken balance-wise, so they fixed it by the veto system in the map pool, which might be something we could implement. But I mean, I'd rather just balance the game than have it to rely on something like that.
Todd, what if they had a new tavern hero, a new item in Goblin Shop? I hope you're joking. Like, we don't need this. We need a working binet. We need some new servers. What the fuck is this question? I don't care about the Naga race or some new heroes.
It'll be DLC, a loot box. You can get a better hero.
Like, you think I want like all this stuff? No. I want a working game. Some new servers. Custom games that actually work. Not a piece of garbage Yuan binet that lags. How about that? Some matchmaking, some ladder. All of that. Games that don't desync, yeah?
Get the basics right first, maybe.
With nice ping, please.
Yeah. I think some new servers really would be like really good though, like for sure. Like US East, Russia, like I don't know. Give us any.
What do you think about the global matchmaking itself?
Oh my god.
It's so bad actually. Like, oh my god. You know, I was at IM Katowice and we had 2 computers backstage for the casters, and D Muslim was playing some ladder. But because like there is no matchmaking, he keeps playing and it's like people are like pretty bad and beating them up very hard. So I was like, at some point I played a 2v2 random team, and my teammate I think had never played the game. And like the opposite team was a range team, so they had like a real strat, and I had to try and win a 1v2, which I lost, and I was like, okay, this is the real challenge right there. So then I told the Muslim, you can't play solo anymore, you have to play 2-on-2 random team. And then he started playing random team 2 games in a row. He got a Korean teammate with 450 ping.
Oh my god.
And then I was like, I actually felt bad because I'm the one who told him to play a like random team. But like it's so unacceptable. Like there's no way we should be playing on Korean server like from Europe. Nobody ever wants to play video games with 450 ping. If we live in a country where like supposedly like almost any server in Europe you would have like less than 100 ping. Like this is the most unacceptable. Even Lado, the nicest guy in the scene, finally lost it and made a hate thread on Reddit. Like this is how pissed off we all are at this stuff. Even Lado was like, fuck these guys, I'm done. And then he made a thread on Reddit, like, because
I didn't even realize that was him. I read that post and then I saw some comments.
I was shocked too. Like... I was like, oh, here we go again, another idiots with like a negative thread. And then I see Lado's lounge or something. I'm like, what? Or Lado Blanco. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah. It happens to the best of us. Eventually we all fall.
I hope you're happy, Royal. You made me go on the rant.
The strangest thing that, as far as I remember, that in the StarCraft remaster, they're actually a global matchmaking. I don't know, like how does it work, but
Yeah.
I didn't listen to any complaint about it.
No, it's bad there too, as far as I know,
Okay.
Oh, it is.
and has been.
But
Yeah,
I
it
guess
has
like
been.
a lot of good players, they're from Korea anyway, so they.
Yeah,
If you
only
get
Koreans
unlucky and you
played.
match them, they still wreck you all the time.
Yeah.
Death Note asked if humans are so strong, why are there no patch humans?
Death Note should look in a mirror.
Whoa!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Wow.
kidding.
That escalated quickly. Yeah, if you guys have some questions, send them our way, and yeah, I think we'll take maybe one or two more. I think Hawk is about to pass out.
Almost.
Todd, has there been any announcement from Blizzard since the Anaheim disaster? I don't believe so, no. I've heard nothing personally. So, I don't know if I missed it or something, but yeah. Would have been, I mean, it's hard for a big company, I guess, to come out and say something about something like that, right? Like if you're a big company, you're just your plan will be to let it blow over, right? You just wait until people stop talking about it and then just move on. The problem is that by moving on, it might mean that some people move away from Warcraft 3, which, because it's the game that we love and play and cast, like we don't want that to happen, so.
And they already invested into the future. Like this is the awkward position they're in because they've invested in tournaments and esports for like a year to come. So if this was some kind of single player experience,
yeah,
they could just quietly stop talking about it, hope it goes away. But this is like, they've already invested in this. Why not try and fix it? Why not be a bit more open and transparent and maybe start by apologizing?
Yeah.
Any dialogue, at least. Not apologizing, but any dialogue.
No, they should apologize. They should give everybody a refund.
Yeah, sure, but I want to listen anything. Just not only apologize, but just anything.
Imagine if tomorrow morning you wake up and they're like, yeah, we're going to recall Reforged. We're going back to Classic. Give us another year. We'll work on the game. We'll make it better. We'll make it the game that you actually wanted. That would be so amazing. Of course, that's never going to happen, but like that's what I would require
and
from
Donald
you.
Trump is going to call a press conference to talk to us about UFOs in Area 51 where you had it. Right. It's going to happen. All right. I think I'm going to let Hawk go to bed.
Okay.
Hawk,
I'm almost sleeping.
Yeah. Give us your shout-outs. Where can people find you? Like your Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, VK, Snapchat, OnlyFans, whatever you want.
So first, thank you for invitation, Todd. You're great.
Thank you for coming on.
And you can find me in Twitch, Luke Hawk, and my Instagram, Inquisitive Hawk. So that's it. I don't use Twitter too much, but you can't follow me. It's same like Instagram.
Yeah.
So thank you.
I'll put all the links under the video. Thank you, Hawk. Have a good night.
Goodbye. Good night.
Thanks, Hawk. Goodbye.
Have a good night.
There's a question in the chat here. Todd, penses tu que Gruby commence à stream de jeux de poids? Warcraft caché quelques projets? I believe I pronounced that correct.
Was it bad?
No, it was perfect. I speak French.
Oh, okay.
This is.
Why did you do this? Okay, I need to reopen another window.
Oh no!
The cameras are not completely broken, and then I'm going to be a double of myself.
Incroyable, yes.
I'll remove the cam on this one. Yeah. Let me see. What is the actual? Do you think that Grubby starting to stream other games? Okay, that's not even proper French, I think. Other than Warcraft 3, does it hide something? I don't know. I don't think it hides anything. I think it's just maybe a little bit fed up. Like he had higher hopes, just like many other people, on what the game was going to be like. And then when he saw what it was like, he was like, all right, well, it's not that good. And I think he spoke about it somewhat publicly. And yeah, I think it's understandable to be disappointed with some of these things.
I think Grubby has a choice as well, because Like a lot of people who follow him or watch him, they watch him because they like Grubby, not because they necessarily like Warcraft. Like
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are kind of stuck in their game. But if I was Grubby, I would get the fuck out. Like I wouldn't touch Warcraft. I'd just go to something else because of how disastrous this has been. But if you're like a back to Warcraft or someone, you kind of have to rough it out. And hope
I think
it
you
gets
should
better.
like it's in my opinion a bit more complicated than like you should play what you like.
Yeah.
And if you like Warcraft 3, even though Reforge has almost made the game worse in a way, if you play with classic graphics and let's say you play custom games, you still have pretty good ping, and then it's still the same game that it used to be. So, but obviously, yeah, ladder is absolute dog shit. Like that global thing, like just tilts me. The BNet UI is disgusting. Like all of these are like big problems, but it's still like it's not like they took classic Warcraft 3 and then they like completely ruined the game. No, it's still the same game inside of that, right? Classic Warcraft 3. So I think that's why a lot of people, in my opinion, we're going to stick around. Like I know I'm going to keep on playing because I still enjoy that, even though I'm getting abused every day by every race.
And you can kind of suppress it because like if you're playing with classic graphics, if you're playing, like I don't really think about Reforged when I'm playing. I'm just playing the game I always play.
Yeah.
I try not to think about Reforged, honestly, but so it's fine. I mean, and that's probably one of the things that they really did achieve. Like classic feels like classic gameplay wise.
Yeah.
The sounds are still terrible. I hate the fact that I can't have the old sounds, but gameplay it feels exactly the same.
What? Like the Farseer sounds like a serpent.
Yeah. Oh my god. And
that's the worst.
The worst thing. No. The worst thing. Do you know what the absolute worst thing is?
The archers.
No. Yeah. Well, that's terrible too. But the fact that when you hide has a really loud sound effect. So every time I just stand still with my army, which you do several times a game, right? So you have to hear this like hissing every time you hide. It's so annoying. I can't like just give me an option. I want to click classic graphics, classic sounds. I don't want to have that.
There is one of the things which has to be in the Reforged. It's about the settings of the sounds. Not only like it was in the old Warcraft, but it is like in StarCraft 2, for example, when you can change almost everything.
Yeah.
So you just can turn off if you don't like it. So.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Wanderbraun. By the way, I didn't switch. I didn't see the camera, so like switch. Okay, give me a sec.
Okay, I am pretty Sweden man right now.
I'm Wanderbraun. Privet.
Yes.
Boom, fixed. Sorry about that. Yeah. It's okay. I have a small preview.
I've been KnOff, I've been Wanderbraun.
Any more questions, or should we just do some shoutouts? I think there's a lot of affirmations in the chats. A lot of people sharing their opinion themselves, but not necessarily questions. Like we talked a little bit about it on top of the show as well. Like in terms of like what you guys would like to see changed. Do you think that like what you mentioned back then was like realistic, or like if you had to put a priority on maybe like one single thing? If somebody like let's say tonight like a genie came out of a lamp and told you like I'm gonna give you one wish, you can fix like one thing, what would you pick?
Observer mode for sure. I want many stats. I want many information. How many units killed this player, this unit, for example. It's very nice in StarCraft 2 that you can know how many units killed one exactly unit, your enemy. It's very cool. It's entertainment. So I want something like that in Warcraft because it's entertainment.
Yeah. I just say ladder, and maybe ladder with a ladder season. I remember like way back in the day there were like ladder seasons, and then the top 16 would qualify for something.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play those at all, but I remember being like a kid and just loading the website, just watching the top 6. Like it was so fun just to follow. So it'd be really cool if they had a ladder season with like a tournament and a playoffs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
To give people motivation to actually play the ladder, and maybe fix so you don't have to play against Koreans and stuff.
Yeah. All right.
But what about you, Todd?
Yeah.
It's hard to pick just one, to be honest.
Yeah. there's so much to choose from.
Yeah, like there's some things that are like pretty annoying. Like I would say like, the BNet UI that's like super laggy and stuff. It's so hard to host games and stuff. I think a ladder would be nice, but to be honest, I play on NetEase, so I guess technically I'm kind of cheating. I have a ladder, and also I also think that like playing custom games is not necessarily the worst. It's a little bit annoying because we all like to press play game and just play. I would say maybe servers. I think just because if we had like, let's say like one Russia server, one Sweden server. I'm not even asking for that many. Let's say like, I mean, I'm thinking about all part of the world, obviously, right? I feel like the people in Oceania, they definitely deserve a server as well. Maybe Latin America as well, because they're lagging like hell right now. But I would say like Russia, Sweden, and East, US East for sure. Like right now, it's impossible to do cross server between Europe and North America, which is terrible. Like there needs to be like Europe against North America is like the longest standing rivalry that like, you know, a lot of us care about and love to see. So I think I always like to see those matches. And as long as there is no US East server, it's just going to be garbage every time a European meets a North American, because one of the two players is going to lag a lot for sure. Yeah. Like if there is East servers, at least it's like somewhat in the middle. And then like we're not lagging like crazy. We can rotate servers maybe a little bit if we play against an actual East player, but against somebody who's West, they're not lagging a ton, or we're not lagging a ton. I think it's like so much better. So I would say servers personally, and like ideally those three, and then maybe like Oceania, Latin America as well. And actually, like throwing a little bit of bonus, like remove that global thing, because like I don't want to search an FFA and then see a bunch of Korean names on the loading screen and being like, all right, here we go, 500 ping. Like it's gonna be terrible.
No, I suppose global matchmaking is actually okay, but you have to have the opportunity to choose where you want to play. If you want to, you don't want to play with Koreans, you will take off Korean servers, etc. You have to have the opportunity to do so.
Another thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
One thing that I was thinking about is like when I first got Reforged, I downloaded it and then I refunded it, right? And then I deleted it and I wanted to reinstall the classic game, but I still had to download the fucking 30 gigs or whatever it is, which really annoyed me. But I know for a fact that a lot of people, like some of the players in South America, some of those teams can't really compete in the leagues right now because many of their players can't even get the game to work, you know, with such a big download.
Yeah.
So I would love to see the fact that maybe you can just, this game from 2002 maybe doesn't have to be 32 gigs. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
If you don't have the Reforged, like if you're just playing Classic anyway, like why do I have to download all the assets? That's just bullshit.
Really, a genie came out of a lamp, gave you a wish, and that's the one fucking thing you're asking about. It's the 32 gigs nobody cares about because we all got SSDs and terabytes hard drives.
You're right. I should say like the Naga ears. That's probably the one thing I'd change.
They changed it.
Yeah, thanks to me, because the genie came and asked me. So I was like, gotta fix those ears, you know.
Stetosina asked, why do you think it's so hard for Blizzard to add more servers to regions you just mentioned? Is it just laziness? Is it money thing or something else? I don't know, honestly. I would assume it costs money to have additional servers, which, considering how many people were outraged about Reforged and refunded it and stuff, they probably don't want to invest too much more into it. So I think they're gonna patch and they're gonna fix some stuff here and there, but I don't expect everything to get patched necessarily. I would be very happily surprised if that happened, but yeah, it's probably a bit of like both of these things and mostly money, I guess. Div asks, sorry late to the party. Starshaped, you improve a lot lately, but it seems like you aren't playing a lot. Can you explain how this works?
Well, you gotta pick Nidal first of all. That's
Finally, it's coming out.
No, I know. I think I'm just, since I've played the game for so many years, I think a lot of it's just I'm living off my old, all the old hours I've put into the game. I think slowly but surely I'm just going to fade away, I think, as we're going to get more and more pro gamers who play kind of full time. And I can just play, you know, a couple of games here and there. So I'll try and keep up. I love the game. I love playing it, but I think you have to be very efficient when you have the limited time that you have. Like if I can play, like I said before, custom games against Thorazane or like KnOff or someone really good and try and learn.
Yeah.
And I usually try and practice for something specific. So if I have an event or a clan war, I'll play the day before a lot, and hopefully that'll be enough. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I can say really.
And then he also asked Wanderbraun, where is your hat? Wanderbraun?
Did he
Did he
I
freeze?
think he looks like he disconnected now.
Oh my god. You put him to sleep with you. I was like, this is weird. He's not moving. But, yeah, I think he dropped out. Oh my god. This messed up all the scenes now. Okay.
Oh my god.
I gotta do this again. Give me a I still had the scene. They're dropping like flies, guys. It's gonna be a solo podcast real soon. Good God. Alright, let me move. Yeah. Somebody said Hawk hasn't moved as well. Well, he's gone, guys. We lost him a while back. Oh my god. Alright, Todd, ever saw OC taking to tier 2? Nope. I can't say I have. Actually, I did. It was to get Moonglaives and Mass More Hunts. Yeah. And also get improved bows. Alright, let's do some shoutouts. I don't know. I guess Wanderbraun must have like dropped. Maybe he's on the way back. But yeah, let's do some shoutouts and then we'll call it for tonight. I'll put everybody's links to social media and everything anyway under the video. Where can people find you, Starshaped? Do you even stream?
Oh, I have a stream. There is a Twitch stream, but no, I don't stream. I haven't streamed for a long time. Hopefully, in the future I will. But I've been saying that for years now, so probably not. So you can't find me. I'm sorry. You'll have to catch me in shows like this. That's the only way.
And what about social media?
Nah, no, I don't have anything.
Are you serious? It's 2020.
Yeah.
Nothing. TikTok, you know?
Oh, you want those? Okay, I got TikTok, I got WhatsApp and all those. So, Snapchat, yeah.
I love how you
No.
low-key don't even know what some of these are. You never really got into social. You have Facebook at least, right? But like a personal page.
I have Facebook. I don't use it. I just use Messenger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really a social media guy. So I don't have anything like that.
How about Tinder?
That'd be inappropriate, I think.
Oh, okay.
Ask me again off stream and I'll tell you.
Yeah. Wanderbraun, are you back?
Yes.
Okay. I'll close one of these. Okay, we're just doing shoutouts.
Nice.
To swap you guys again. Okay, Wanderbraun, where can people find you? Twitch, Twitter, everything. Give us everything.
Actually, my nickname everywhere is just Wanderbraun. YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm actually a YouTuber mostly. So my YouTube channel is the biggest one among my social networks. So if you want to find me somewhere, you can find YouTube.
And you cast in Russian exclusively, right?
Yep. But I'm rebroadcasting also on Twitch, so
Yeah.
like you can also find me on Twitch, Wanderbraun, the same nickname.
Oh, yeah, you do have a hat, right? Because there was a question about where your hat is. And now I think I remember I've seen you have like a captain's hat. Like a sailor hat? Is that...
Yeah, I have like a small roleplay thing on my channel, like I'm a captain, etc.
Oh, okay.
And you're live every day or
What do
pretty
you mean?
close to it? How often are you live on Twitch?
Sorry?
How often are you live on Twitch? Like, how often do you
Okay. Almost every tournament, mostly every day, but sometimes I have a day off.
Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, thank you for joining me. I wish you all a good night. I will put all of your links under the video on YouTube. So if you guys are listening to these podcasts elsewhere, make sure to check that out. Give all of these guys a follow and have a good night, guys.
Thank you very
Same
much.
to you.
Good night.
Okay, so let's see. This is the room. Okay, as you can see, I was completely ready for this, Kappa. I need to open the Patreon and talk to you guys about it. First of all, thank you everybody for checking out this podcast or watching the live. Let me switch the screen right there. Boom. I need to get better at this whole production thing. I still got a lot of room to improve. I'm gonna open some notes. Hope you guys had fun. Definitely, definitely some fun guests tonight. Like, I think we started a little bit late because we had to let GGG's Weekly, which I still think is a terrible name, finish before we went live. But as soon as that finished, Wanderbraun joined us. We had Starshaped as well, and we're able to get some thoughts from these guys. We still have I got a bunch more shows actually scheduled. I got the 3 next week already booked out. So I'm going to talk about this first real quick. On the Wednesday the 11th at 10 p.m. CET, we're going to have Kevin, the German Night Elf, on, Terror from Poland, Moonglades from Australia. And then on Wednesday the 18th, we're going to have Scott, the Swedish Undead's Long Walk, is going to join us as well. And then I'm still looking for one more guest at least. And then on Tuesday the 24th, episode 8, 6 p.m. CET. So we moved that because I'm getting surgery, a septoplasty on the 25th. So I moved that to one day earlier. It's going to be on Tuesday. And it's going to be Vortex, 100 kg, and X-Lord on this one. And I'm still working on locking some more people. I think maybe Death Note will be on as well soon. I think maybe X-Lord was talking about coming on. Yeah. So, thanks to my guest for joining me yet again. If you guys are enjoying the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. This helps us cover production costs such as podcast hosting and continue providing this content. This podcast is live now on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud, and many more. So if you want to have this show delivered to you in audio formats, just search for ToD's Town Hall Meeting on your favorite platform. I did it on iTunes actually this morning and it worked. Visit the Patreon page at patreon.com/ToDgaming. That's the one you can see on the screen right now if you're on YouTube. Supporters get the YouTube VODs and podcast in mail to them ASAP, so you can get access a little bit earlier. And the VOD will go up on YouTube to the public a day later. Plus, I have quite a few more perks listed on different tiers. That's right there. Such as priority Q&A questions, Discord perks, monthly replay packs, custom recorded voice message you can use for a stream alert, voicemail greeting or whatever, and ability to cast votes for the future direction of my tutorial content, which actually I should get to very soon. And you can submit replays for me to analyze live on stream and much more, so check it out. Join my Discord and follow my Twitter for updates, and subscribe to YouTube for show VODs and game highlight videos. Thank you for watching everyone, and see you next week.